Good afternoon. It is Monday, the 20th day of May 2013. Let's take a look at the silver charts on multiple time frames. We'll start off with the most shortest term, which will be that of the hourly chart. So going back with what was said last week within the video logs is roughly around here what I was saying that, I was looking for this 23 level to see if it held and stayed below it, then for a decent amount of time, I'm expecting the 22 test to occur. And this was a decent amount of time, which is why it came out saying, don't be surprised if we have a test of 22. There it is right there. And then from that point, we're going to have little to no support as the favorite. Well, there was support, but it was little. Unable to get anywhere past here, going sideways. And well, on Friday, it ended the session right here, pretty much where it was before, stating the move from here to here was a failed move. 61.8% somewhere in here, not holding. And then I made the video on Sunday stating, don't be surprised if it starts the session off with large selling. Well, that occurred. But you know what, parlays, which is a word used when you're making wagers for multiple events to occur, well, they're extremely hard to hit. You can say, well, this parlay hit. I called that it would go to 22 with either little to no support. The little support was a win. And then it would start the session off with a big move lower. That occurred. But then I was also saying that, well, don't be surprised on the early session of today that you'd see some more of it. And well, no, we're actually up for the day as we're saying it, and the day started right here. So an interesting chart pattern to say the least. So let's explain it the best that I possibly can. And it's going to end up saying it might be looking pretty good, but that's all I can say. This chart looks great. And I say that because you come up and you hit this resistance. The Fibonacci high is 2484. There's really about 4 different highs that are important with the $20 low. One is the 2484. Another one is 28. Another one is 35, and another one is 50. But for the one with the 25-ish dollar high, find resistance and a very much successful higher low. Notice how fast this occurred. It took 3 additional hours to go from 20 to a high 21s. That's about a 7% gain after it had already lost about 7-8% already. 10% even. Okay, so you make the higher low, another resistance test in here, and the more often you test it, there's the pattern. Notice it makes it right up towards this level. And it's settled down a little bit since then. But again, I'm expecting this week to be very volatile for the most part. At least for the next little while anyway. Okay, again, parlays are hard to do. So to try to predict the next, good luck on that because you're just pressing your luck, as they say. So now the next one we'll take a look at is the daily time frame. And we can see in here, you got this long possible cattail. To me, failed moves occur a lot of times when it recaptures the level relatively quickly. Well, that was fast. That just wasn't relatively quick. It was recapturing it fast. However, we're now looking at the highs from 35.40, which is the most previous high before here. And on the 23.6 level, it's at this area. It's also at this key support mark as well. So it could still be that resistance level, but I think it's more favored at this point that it's a failed breakdown than it will be resistance on a significant level. Whereas failed breakdown can still have resistance and then do something like that, but just being resistance means it comes in here and it's eventually going to test 20, if not break it again lower. Will that happen? I don't know. And it was interesting because when I looked at the charts yesterday, and I'm going to quickly bring this back again to the hourly chart. I looked at the chart at the open, 6:01 p.m. Eastern time. I seen it at gapped higher, and I was going to look at it a little bit later. A bunch of things happened, so I didn't get a chance to look at it until like maybe 9 o'clock at night, and I already seen that it had crashed, and it had already managed to get back up towards this level. Would I have bought at 20? Probably, but I was unable to because these moves can be extremely fast. And that's another reason stating just maybe, this might be, keyword might be, the end of this bear market on this particular run. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at, we've seen it from this 24 high. And now we're going to take a look at the Fibonacci from this high in here. And to do that, we're going to use the 8-hour chart. Here it is. So there's that $28 high. And the Fibonacci levels, or the two lines on the 38.2 and 61.8%, just happen to be in significant areas, which is not uncommon. In fact, it's more common than it is uncommon. Telling you, well, just maybe, this could be the bottom, as I'm saying. But for now, another test towards this level, it would be ideal to have a little bit of a pullback. It already has had a little bit, maybe down towards here. And then taking this out, then the next key level is this previous high of the high 24 level. That would give you even more reason to state that this is the failed move because it's got a long ways to go. So just going from 20 to 23 or so, which is really a gain of about 14%. And from the low, at this point, it's 13.1%. Very volatile action to say the least. Let's look at the next time frame, which will be on the weekly chart. And again, for the week, we're up, but we were down a lot just a few hours ago. Still, you got this declining average. And you got the moves that I talk about, bulls, bears, bulls. You can see where I'm going on this. So a move will come for the bulls. How far, how long, how high, time will only tell. And one thing that I was mentioning as well, I'm going to show it on the monthly chart here, is I was waiting for either, back in here, either confirmation move break above 39, obviously never even got there, or for it to make a move to the low 20s, which it obviously did. So during this whole time frame, had you been waiting, well, you would have obviously got in at a lower price, whether you got in now, whether you got in maybe last month at 22 or 23. Bottom line is, at this stage, it paid to wait using that ideology. So again, going back to the weekly just to show you the levels now. Well, before, this level here was like closer to like 30, and this one was like closer to 39. So I needed that confirmation above 39 because I would take the high of 49.81 and then I would divide it by 26. But now I'm dividing it by 20, which means the 61.8% is 35.18, which coincides with these areas in here as well. So I need to now see a confirmation hold and break above this level on the long-term time frame, which is still a long ways to go for me to say that the confirmation of a bull market that should at least test the $50 highs but probably break it would occur when that happens. And again, that is a long ways away. So let's move back to the monthly chart again. And you see you had this breakdown below this line here. It's broke below here, which we'll see better on the quarterly time frame. We also got Fibonacci here at, 1665, which is pretty much the lower end of the range. As the higher end, it goes up to like even 21, 22. Let's show it more on the quarterly time frame. This one is, what do we got here? 1895. So there's so many different levels, key resistance, but it's already made it to previous resistance because this was 2135 in March of 2008. It undercut that yesterday. It's back above it. So we can now say that on this time frame, we have reached previous resistance. Will that be the final one again? Maybe, maybe not. But let's take a look at this pattern in here. Is this possibly going to show us the same pattern here? It very easily could do so. And as far as the moved rate, pretty much the exact same. Going from about here to about here. Let's move this up to the $50 high. Well, It matched the same rate. Obviously, it was a lot faster back then than it was now, but the exact same rate of descent has taken place. And you ask yourself, is this up or down a lot? If you say, well, you know what, this band is rising, maybe it's going to go sideways and start to decline, and we'll test this area here. You could think that, and when people talk about SL or silver going to zero, it ain't going to zero, but is it possible it goes here? After all, if this area doesn't hold, that's the next areas of support, but for now, I'm going to be ruling that part out. It doesn't seem likely at all unless they just really want to crash the system and do it because they can do it. To me, that's the only way that would take place, and I don't even know if they can do such a thing into smacking it down anymore. A lot of great buying opportunities at this stage. I'm still not yet going to call a bottom because to me, calling a bottom is either A, when you get to a point where you're saying, yep, I'm buying now, I'm calling a bottom, which I probably would have done had I been on and stated here that, but I'm not going to now. Or, of course, any type of bullish sentiment to say it looks like the bottom we reached is in, and I'm not going to do that yet either. Finally, I want to talk about the indicator that I have been using. This is a spreadsheet that I use. And so I got a lot of data in here, and it's hourly data. So what I do is I got the price in here for all of the different dates and hours. These columns collect moving averages of multiple time frames. These calculations determine the rate of ascent on each moving average, which gives me a level. The indicator is at negative 0.66, and earlier today it was minus 1.22. The chart, let me just copy and paste it into here, it'd be so much easier. This is a chart, and of course 0.0 is equal value or neither overbought, neither oversold. So there's the fair value. It's still oversold, but of course it's deeply oversold still. I hate to just stutter like that and just be silent, but still down a lot. That's the key point there. Now, as far as the way I've looked at this as a potential game, A, you buy when it's in the negatives, when you are confident or your research shows that it's got a sustained growth within whatever it is, and you know that it's a good price because it's in the negative value. So generally speaking, if you've never played this, let's just assume that you buy. What you would do is you would sell when it hits 0.8, sell when it hits 1.6, 2.4, and so on. So let's just assume you sell at, say, it got to 0.8. So you buy when it hit this negative level here. So next you would do is sell at here or buy down here. So again, you say you buy at 0.8, wherever it was in here, you bought here, then you buy at negative 1.6. Normally, I would be saying selling at the positives, but when you buy down here, you could say just maybe it might be worth selling a little bit if it goes positive, but you know, I wouldn't even consider that much. And this is just a homemade indicator explaining if it's overbought, oversold. It's been oversold for quite some time now. And that'll be it for today. And good luck with any of your purchase. If you got in last night, congratulations. And it's a fast game. Take care.